Coming in at only 5,055 pounds, the ultra popular Grey Wolf 26RR kind of travel trailer, toy hauler crossover here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This is beyond perfect for half-ton pickups due to its smaller size and lighter weight, and that's really where I call this a crossover versus a true toy hauler. Now obviously it does have a ramp door, and we've even outfitted this with the rear ramp patio gate to really kind of take it up to the next level. But it's got the size and body profile of a normal travel trailer. It's not extra wide, it's not extra tall, it's not extra heavy, it's not extra expensive like a true toy hauler. So if what you're looking for is just something for like a bike, a smaller toy, some dirt bikes, ATVs, or not necessarily everyone has that 13-foot long raked out extra tall roll cage RZR. And for those that do, great, we've got toy haulers for you, but not everybody needs that. And that's really where this one comes in, because it's just as much of a good camper as it is a tiny toy hauler. What's also really nice here is these don't typically have that like toy hauler motocross extreme interior. It's got a lot more modernized interior, much more in tune with residential coloring and design. And the most recent update on this, now that the Grey Wolves are actually gray, I think it's the best looking product they've ever put out. Now, I didn't mind the brown skin with the red stripe edition that came just before this. It did not bother me at all, but I know that it wasn't necessarily everyone's cup of tea, and I think that a lot more people, not 100% of people, but more people are going to be pleased with what they see here. Now, in the back, if we take a look, you've got this fold-down sort of, rear bench dinette arrangement. What's kind of cool about it is it can fold down into just a giant mega sleeper, or, of course, you can just have really like a 6-person dinette. It's huge, and because it's the entire width of the trailer, taller folks for sleeping, you're going to be very comfortable in here with lots of extra room. So couples RV, but if you got grandkids or friends, you can sleep them, in here. Now, no slides allows for a very easily carpetless deck, which means easy cleaning. Now, of course, like you saw, there's different arrangements we can use for these benches and whatnot back here. I've got it kind of in a 50-50 arrangement to give you, the visuals of everything on top of what we've seen already. So you've got the table that can float around, and what's cool is it's very good for going outside, because whether it's the tabletop or the countertop, they're all a sealed edge press membrane material, and that means basically effectively waterproof. It's very, very difficult for any sort of water penetration to sneak through here. Now, before I forget, there are D-ring tie-downs all the way up to that front entertainment center wall there, so you do have max loading space in here. But once we step inside, well, it doesn't really feel like a toy hauler anymore. It just has a normal RV interior. We've got our centralized air to keep, because this does have a very private front bed with a walk-through bath, which is another thing toy haulers don't do well, is give you a good private front bedroom. You end up with a lot of open exposed corner beds, which not a lot of people, I think people settle for them. I don't think a lot of people actively like, yeah, I want that corner bed. I think that's cool. We do have a skylight up here. Now, if it is a sunny day, unlike today, you could just pull that shade shut, of course. Now, in the kitchen area, we've got a very traditional, like, well, I don't know, traditional, but a normal RV kitchen arrangement, but with a little bit more of a modern feel to it, I think. Those bevel glass inserts on those overhead doors, they kind of break up some of the monotony of the wood tones, but they also sort of open up and open the way here to these very full-sized overhead cabinets, and you can tell it's full-size because if you compare the depth of the cabinet compared to the microwave, you see that it's not sunken back and recessed. They're not, hiding or stealing cabinet space from you. Stainless appliance bundle, well, partial stainless appliance bundle here. I can't talk today. Right below the stainless hood, we have that tile backsplash. There we go. Let me get back on track. Next to the kitchen breeze window. But what I like here is you can see how now that's not normally where the sink cover would go. I simply set it there to keep it kind of out of the way. So we could take a look at this ultra modern residential feeling skirted stainless farm sink. The giant one basin stainless sink here. Very, very new, fresh feeling, not classic, boring, old camper feeling. And again, sealed edge countertops everywhere. You can see right here, you know, there's no seams where that's been cut open. Now, the Cherokee family of RVs for a long time has been good about giving us like double big drawers instead of single, or, you know, one or two small ones. But they've recently kind of revised all this just a little bit to now include a nice little wastebasket space below the sink, which is just so ultra handy. So obviously between the flush mount stove cover, and if we pop the sink cover back in place, this small RV has pretty respectable prep space in it. Now over here we've got a little bit of what I like to refer to as the Pantry Tainment Center, although my favorite part of it all is that clutter cutting shoe garage right by the door, so you don't have that big ugly pile of shoes tripping you as you walk out. A lot of RVs are going to this new Furrion Bluetooth stereo system here because fewer and fewer people are camping with DVDs, but more and more people are asking for Blu-ray players, but not enough for the manufacturers to actually pull the switch. So what they've done here, put that faceplate back on. I popped that off earlier. If you're curious, this whole faceplate ring can kind of pop off to take the shipping plastic off of it. Now, you've got expandable entertainment options here. That's why a lot of manufacturers are going to this. It satisfies the people looking for simple entertainment, but they leave a nice entertainment shelf here. If you want a little Blu-ray player or something, bam, plug it right in. You're good to go. Now, you won't typically find a TV included in a Cherokee Grey Wolf product here at Haylett RV. Biggest reason, I can get you the same size or bigger or better quality TV for the same price at the big box store of your choice just down the street, even pay to have it installed by a tech. So if all you need is a TV, you let us know. That is an easy thing for us to overcome and make happen for you guys. Now, all this is well and good, but what I think has really taken this one over the top in terms of popularity has been just having a really nice bathroom and an excellent bedroom space. So it kind of begins here with this oversized medicine cabinet. But what's cool is you have a matching oversized sink below it to kind of accommodate adult hands. Because you figure you're going to be in a toy hauler. You know, you're going to be maybe on trails a little bit. Get your hands dirty. It's nice to be able to actually get them in there and scrub them out. And I do like the nice touch of the matching tile backsplash behind the sink that goes along with the kitchen backsplash. So things like this, the huge sink, the huge medicine cabinet, those are very prototypical Cherokee family features. Now you've also got a very nice big radius corner shower right here. Lots of elbow room for you to get cleaned off after a long ride. That carpetless thing really presents itself well here in the bathroom area, but one thing you might notice is there are no floor heat vents through the RV. They are cabinet ducted heating vents. So especially if you're walking through with dirty shoes, boots, whatever, off the road or trails, you don't tend to collect a lot of dirt, you know, in your camper. It's very easy to keep cleaned out. Now, we just saw that big linen cabinet there, but the bigger Max Air vent fan right here, that is going to help pull a lot of fresh air, which is something that you'll really appreciate if you are kind of boondocking a little bit. That's they've also recently updated the lighting here to a higher level of intensity. They're spending more money on the light fixtures now, so it's just lighter and brighter in here, and that in conjunction with the newer, lighter wall panels, man alive. I mean, it feels bigger in here than it did in the past. Now, both sides of the bed will have full-length hanging closets with the full mirrors there, so you don't have a sharp corner to jab you, but you also have USB and household outlets on both sides of the bed. So it doesn't matter, you know, what side you sleep on, whether it's a CPAP machine, phone chargers, whatever you need, you're going to have it everywhere. Extra large window over here on the camp side also makes it very easy to sit up in bed and look out at your campsite. And if you hear a noise, get an idea of what's happening outside or with the neighbors or what's going on. The interior updates might be sharp, but the complete facelift they gave this thing on the outside, almost a complete inverse of last year's color package, or even earlier this year, as it were. Very impressive. It feels much newer. It just feels higher class. It feels modern. But what I like is how all of the colors work together now. You know, grays and like your light platinum, your graphite, dark gray, the deep navy blue accents, the awning lights that we'll see later, even the little blue accents on these MORryde stable steps right here. Everything on this looks good and works together now. It's just a more cohesive color package. Something my wife would put together versus me, you know? The old brown with the red stripe, that's something I would have done. This silver and blue, that's something that my wife would put together. And obviously she's just got a better eye for color than me. Now, these things are awesome because when you come and go in and out of the RV, you don't tend to rock and roll and shake the camp around because these adjustable foot pegs, they can marry up very nicely to just about any darn campsite, no matter how uneven, and make it very easy to come and go without making everybody seasick. Now you do have that nice, easy, that larger entry handle there, but then you've got this anti-slam door that you can, it's like the harder you push it, the more it resists. Although that being said, if you just gently push it by hand, it locks down pretty darn easily. Very, very slick that way. Next to this big baggage compartment, we do have a simple side mount solar prep plug for portable panels. Again, great if you're boondocking. Very large pass-through compartment up front for all of your, you know, big totes and things. And your Cherokee Grey Wolf family tends to include a propane quick connect up front here for grills and whatnot. So what I do like about that too is it's not located under the awning, so you're not generating a lot of heat right next to your picnic station, as it were. You know, that portable table that we saw inside, you could bring outside under the awning that will open up in a few minutes. The front radius nose on this, it's an extra thick painted aluminum nose, so it'll be very weather resistant. You know, it won't have the potential fade issues that a lesser expensive fiberglass nose can. Now you can take a non-painted nose. Like Rockwood doesn't do painted nose caps typically, but they don't fade because they actually put you know, UV inhibitors in their mix. Unfortunately, not every brand does that, but here's the hard part for you folks at home. When they're sitting there side by side brand new, they all look good. What you need to do is go look at a used RV lot and see how they hold up. First of all, you're going to have a hard time finding a Cherokee or Grey Wolf on a used RV lot. Despite their popularity, folks typically don't want to get rid of them because they're real happy with it when they get them. But the fact is, they hold up well. Case in point, here's one from several years ago that is doing just fine. Even with modest care and upkeep, it's done very well. So that's one of the things that I look for, is how do they hold up when they come in on trade. Now, power awning, power tongue jack makes setting and breaking camp simple and easy, but you got to get there. And that's one of the things I like about Grey Wolf RVs, is that they actually ride on a custom engineered chassis. If you look down toward the tongue, you actually see how the A-frame here is fully integrated. Now, that's not necessarily structurally stronger. I've actually talked to engineers who have tested it both ways and say, no, it's actually just about as strong either way. So if we look at a traditional welded on A-frame like we see over here, that's not going to be any more structural, but it will make the RV taller, because now the whole RV has to be at least 6 inches taller, or however thick those A-frame beams are, which means it'll sit that much higher in the air. So a taller center of towing gravity, plus just greater overhead clearance. Those things will not be found here on a Grey Wolf. Neat little thing, they've recently added this. There's an extra light switch inside. When we got the first one of these, we couldn't figure out what it did, and then I happened to walk around the outside of the RV, and this is a full-on nice bright white light next to our docking and sewer stations right here. So if you do need to see what you're doing at night, you have a dedicated light switch for that. But if you want to leave that off, because chances are that bright white light is not something your neighbors are going to appreciate, you only have to have it on when you need it, when you want it. You're not going to leave it on all night like you might with your awning light. Some people will tend to leave those on longer because you spend more time on the door side of the RV than over here. Your Cherokees Grey Wolves, they will have black tank flush and outside utility shower, which is nice. Now, on their mag wheels, another thing that they do that's just handy, it's just darn handy, are these little tire pressure caps on your valve stems. And basically, guys, all you have to do is look at your tires, at the valve stem specifically, and you're going to know if you need air in those tires or not, because if that little thing flips from green to red, you're going to know. Now, behind the tires is a sewer hose caddy, so that's one less area where your sewer stuff and your you know, camping stuff have to mix and mingle. Before we open up the ramp gate outside, one thing I did want to do is take a moment to point out the better, like, self-grabbing latches that they're using on the back here. So it's very easy to flip it open and unlock. But let me actually open this. When you close it, it tends to grab itself, and you can yank all over this thing and it won't pop open. Now, plus, you do have the option to key lock that for security, as opposed to a padlock style toy hauler gate, which those latches will save you money, guys, but padlocks very easily corrode outside, especially here in the Midwest if you're towing it and those road salts spray up the back of the RV, which they do. those self-locking mechanisms right there, they're just much, much better for weather exposure and, you know, towing scenarios. And a nice look at our patio party deck before the weather knocks this out of the equation today. I always like to try to get these open because this is really one of the smallest series of toy hauling travel trailers with this feature available. Again, where I call this a crossover compared to a true toy hauler. It's not extra wide, it's not extra tall, it's not extra heavy, it's not extra expensive. It's just right, as the baby bear would say. So it's got the same heavy load limits and rating limits as a full true toy hauler. Like you've got a 3,000 pound load limit, 1,500 pound deck limit, as it were, in this arrangement here. Very quick and easy to set up. Now we do have a backup camera on the, backup camera prep. A little plug where you can attach a backup camera up top between those marker lights. Very handy for folks who are looking for that in-motion security, but you can get a backup only model and save a little money. Now, as we progress over here, quick look at the awning, and I talk about it often, but I don't always get a good opportunity to take a look at it. And you can see those cool blue awning lights under that awning. Now, the Cherokee family, which obviously includes the Freedom Express, I just did a Freedom Express, those words are in my mouth. Grey Wolf, as it were, they've had these blue LED awning lights and matching backlit speakers over here for a couple years. But when they used to have that brown skin and red stripe, it just, I don't know, it didn't match the color palette. Now, everything makes sense. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not exactly a color palette connoisseur by any stretch. Like, I'm very fortunate that we have to wear uniforms here at Haylett RV. And then, not that we have to, I feel we get to. Because if you ask me to put together an intelligent outfit, basically, it's just not going to look right. I'm the kind of guy where once I pick my clothes out and I'm real proud of myself, my wife goes, "Oh, you're wearing that, huh?" So there you have it, guys. Give us a call, whether it's hitching, pieces, parts, trades, financing, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything between. We do it all at Haylett RV, except for hidden fees. We don't do those. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.